Thank you, Jason. Thank you for being our guest. Thanks a lot. At the beginning of your career, which have been the most important things that happened? Your schools, your masters, your fellow musicians, your encounters, your passion?
Growing up in New York is definitely a big part of me and my music and my career. And the fact that I went to a music high school in New York, which allowed me to meet my musical peers, that a lot of them I still know today, and the opportunities to perform already at such a young age in venues already, even in famous venues like Carnegie Hall and Lincoln Center and stuff, with school at first, so I think those were the first seeds of my career.
You always loved jazz, but I think your intention was not to be fenced into that genre. Am I right?
There was a certain point where I fell in love with jazz, and that's all that I cared about. And then the more that I studied jazz, I really had a need to study the roots of jazz. When I started to study the roots of jazz and the connections with jazz, this is when it led me to so many different other types of music, which many are Black American musical forms with, roots going back to African rhythms, which, depending on where Africans ended up in the American continent, it created all these different types of music, which I fell in love with actually all of them once I started to learn all the different connections. So, and then at a certain point, I just wanted to learn about music and not worry about what the music is called, or if I wasn't concerned with putting any borders on myself of where I could go musically. I just love music and sound and rhythm.
What can you tell us about the current New York musical scene? Is there a New York sound, anything that can be related to a specific place, the people in it, musical trends involved?
Right now, the scene that I feel has the most energy in New York since before the pandemic, which is getting more, getting bigger or getting more known. It's a very underground scene, which is, some people have called it the mutant scene, and it's sort of these genres which are very non-commercial and very experimental. Some genres within the mutant scene are for rave culture. So really fast tempos, really loud music, but very experimental, sort of anti-pop music for people to go out really late at night. And it's a lot of young people, it's a lot of non-binary people in the new generation that are into this scene. And I think it's just very vibrant and very interesting, and the real youth culture that's happening now. Some of the genres are sort of the new styles of punk, so it's like punk electronic or hardcore electronic, rave music, and then also there's some noise, just noise music, which I find very therapeutic, and I think the people who make noise music find it very therapeutic for them, and I can tap into that energy. So I just really like this because it's a very fluid scene now. It's changing fast, it's growing fast, and it's the sort of the new generation, and it has communities in every city now. This kind of music, it's really cool.
Electronica, considering in particular your musical tools, seems to grant new ways of expression. Is it like that?
Electronica is I always find it interesting. One of the festivals that really changed my life in a way, or influenced me a lot, was a festival called Moog Fest in the US, and I was just really blown away by the variety of different kinds of music. And I find that because electronica is largely a self-taught music. You don't really go to school. Okay, you can go to production school and learn typical types of maybe pop or commercial styles, but I'm not really talking about that. I mean, real electronic artists are usually very self-taught, very introverted, they're very interesting artists, and a lot of them don't come from a musical background, and some of them have connections with visual arts as well and other sorts of media. So I just think it's the electronic world is just, to me, it's interesting because it's so varied and sort of genreless in a way,
but very open
and very surprising often. So I just find a lot of inspiration.
has been developing the Now versus Now project in particular during the years?
Well, when I started this group, which I called Now versus Now, and the name kind of stuck, I think the reason I chose the word now is because I wanted to be sort of current with whatever music I'm learning about at the time. But with every few years, our sound is slowly evolving. I think we're always evolving because we're always learning and changing, but I don't think that's unique to us necessarily, but yeah, we've definitely evolved over the years from sort of a jam band and then going in the studio with Michelle and Dege Cello, who sort of produced our first album and shaped it and shaped the song forms in a certain way that she knows how to do. Then that sort of shifted us into that direction. And then we took certain vibes from the first record and that became our new sound. And then the same thing happened from the second record to the third record. Things that we felt were new and interesting, they carry on. So it's just a constant evolution.
Still evolving. Thank you very much, Jason.
You're welcome.